G'day guys, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to continue looking at the use keyword just a little bit because I just want to cover a couple more topics around using it, which is kind of ironic that I use the word use when I'm talking about the use keyword. Oh well. So basically in the previous video, we looked at some really simple scenarios of simplifying the paths and things like that so that, we could reduce something like this to, let's say, use a double colon B double colon player, right? We could do something like this, and then that would be simplified down to player, right? And then basically I've introduced another one called game. So if I wanted to do that, I go use a double colon B double colon game, right? And now this would become game like so. And then for C, well, we want to keep the C, so you would do something like use a double colon C, right? And if I was to then do that, I can remove this, and everything will work the same as it did a moment ago, except now we've got a simpler syntax, right? So everything executes the way I expected it to. Now, we can improve this a little bit by using something called nested paths. So what that means is that we have two very similar use statements here, all right? We have a AB player and an AP game, but really they're from the same module, which is B, right? So it would be nice if we could just put it all on one line that we want both player and game and nothing else, right? Well, that's where we can use this curly brace syntax, right? We can add, a left curly brace there, and then a right curly brace at the end here. And this is a way that we can now choose selectively what we want to include from the B module, right? So I can choose to say I want player and game, like so, right? So what that means is I now can remove this line here, right? Whoops. Let me just come down and comment that out. So if I run this now, what's going to happen is you're going to get the same result, right? So now we've simplified the use keyword a little bit and that path to include both structs by using this nested path syntax. Cool. So you can simplify this even a little further, or you can actually do other things. So let's just have a look at another example. So let's say I want to include C in the one line, right? So to do that, I have to target the A. So if I do something like this, where I'll do it below, I'll go use A colon colon, and then I want to get the two things from B and C, right? And basically all the content of C. So I can go subpath, and I can now choose B colon colon player, B colon colon game, and I can also choose C, right? And when I do this, and it's probably going to complain because I need to remove some of these things above. I'll just comment out all of these lines. There we go. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, okay, from the A module, use a subpath to select the player in the B module, the game from the B module, and everything inside of, or basically everything inside the C module, right? So based on doing this, everything's going to work the same as down here, right? Let's just run to make sure of that. And my computer's been a bit slow today. In fact, I don't think that worked. Let's just run it one more time. There we go. All right, cool. So everything works the same there, right? Now, we can take this another step further. We can say, actually, I just want everything from B, right? I want player and game, and if something gets added into the future, I want to grab that as well. So I don't want to come through and just go B player, B game, and then eventually B colon something else. I don't want to do that. I basically just always want to include everything that's in the B module and then just, the C module as well, right? So there's a number of ways we could do that. But the way I want to specify here is using something called the glob syntax. And that is essentially you choose the module and then you go colon, colon, and then a star. And the star basically means get everything that's in the B module, all right? So by doing this and running it, you're going to get the same result. Cool. So another example is, let's say this time we do want to just get player and game like we did before, right? But we don't want to have it like this. We can also use a subpath within a subpath, right? So now I can just go player and game from the B module, right? So now I'm choosing just player and game as a subpath from module B, which is part of a subpath of A. All right, so if I run that, still works, right? So the point is there's lots of different ways we can do things, right? And then finally, another approach we could take is say, all right, I just want everything from B and C all the time, right? And, right, importantly, I don't want to use the C in front of anything. So down here at the moment, I've got C colon colon, the name of the function, and that's because we've just chosen C like that. But if I use the glob syntax like this, right, now I don't need the C down here. In fact, it's going to complain, and it's just going to grab the function name. All right, so now we're importing the function by its exact name without the module needing to be in front of it. Kind of like what we did when we did something like this, right? We went C colon colon, then we went concat player and game IDs, right? But instead of doing this, because we have maybe potentially lots of functions in there, we can do this for all functions that are in there by just using that glob syntax. And then here we can do the same thing, right? We could choose to have glob there too, and then we run. Everything works, right? Or we may even do this, and then but we get an issue, right? So just be careful, right? In this situation, it's still going to require us to say, okay, now I need to put B colon colon player back, because A glob is going, okay, I'm going to look at the A level. I can see there's a B module there. I can see there's a C module. And it'll pick up those two things and they'll be exported, but the internal player will then need to be passed as a path like this, like it was beforehand. So you can't do some things, right? That's why I was recommending you can do it that way if you really wanted to. Cool? But obviously the best approach generally would be, something like this. That would be how I would define it, because we want to keep with that consistency that functions should be prefixed with the module, as opposed to structs, which should have the full name. Cool. So I just wanted to quickly get through that because it was something that I'd forgotten to mention in the previous video. But that's it for this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.